Ooh, boy, this goes fast.
Well, in that context, I think picking a relatively slow but straightforward 23 and upping the speed, that's a good way to get yourself ready to go fast, because that's what
true.
the song is.
That's true.
And
there's only so many ways to warm up for EMA because it goes so fast. There's not a whole lot of songs with this tempo in the game. And especially maybe not ones at this like difficulty. Right, so.
And bear in mind, you're roughly hitting it at about 16ths at 120, let's say.
Right.
But it's going to burst even faster than that. And,
right.
You know, the music is upbeat, it's intense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be ready to watch it. So here we go.
Even the slowdowns have 30-second bursts, which are equivalent to the 16th bursts at the faster speed. Yeah, like those.
For starters, JJK makes it look easy. Just a couple of like late yellows here and there, but
this slowdown section is a bit hard to read.
Never mind being hard to execute, it's hard to read.
Yeah. It's one of those ones that you almost have to memorize because it's just so dense with the 30-second bursts that if you don't have the rhythms like noted down in your head, trying to figure them out on the fly can be very difficult.
Second slowdown, much easier in comparison.
But here comes the upbeats. And he transitions back into the downbeats very well. A couple lates there. I think the bursts throwing him off. But still a 97K on that 24. That is an amazing score.
I talk about this phenomenon a lot with charts that have 30-second bursts, like more standard fare charts that have bursts like that. And I think you see it here as well. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to just immediately speed up into it. It's another thing to then slow down back out of it.
Right.
And I think what you saw there is some of JJK's late yellow perfects in 240 BPM sections followed a 16th burst. So he would nail the 16th, but then transitioning back into 8ths at 240, sometimes lose some time there.
Right.
It's a very aggressive change.
StepManiaX. Select your difficulty.
All right. HINTZ going into it. Now remember, this is JJK's Protect. So we expect him to be more practiced on this chart. But we'll just have to see how JJK does, or how HINTZ does. Let's see, is he doing a warm-up? I assume he gets a warm-up.
He might get like half a warm-up or so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was playing on the other, on the other cab during the pools. We didn't see his gameplay here, so on this stream. So he must have been playing on the other cab. So to get adjusted to this cab, we'll get him a song or so warm-up.
Taking a second to arrange the lighting around a little.
Yeah.
End the song, you know, just kidding. We
get everything
this last round. We wanted you guys to hear it a bit, you know. Everyone loves Boom Boom Dollars.
Yeah.
Greatest remix revival from old Dance Dance Revolution.
I personally like the KOG-G3 mix better.
You know what everyone loves?
Still good.
They love that funny fella. I think most people in this room who are very comfortable on full mode will be quite familiar with this chart, as it was a qualifier for Red October last year.
Oh, yeah? Senpai believes this is the easiest full 23. I think partially it does depend on your note skin. It seems strange, but those mines are extremely hard to read on full mode with the skin that I play on. It makes the other one, Dance Boom Boom, the other Boom 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 song, with the parts where it has the jumps, and it's like an entire row of mines except for like 2 notes or a jump. It's very difficult to read.
I've heard some other doubles players complain, to put it earnestly, about things like brackets or jumps where lines are around them, and it's harder to see the actual note execution because you lack those whole spaces.
Right. All right, but let's get into HINTZ going on to EMEA, the first song of the set. Nailing that 16th burst.
Yeah, he's doing very good with those burst contexts, but you think you have your whole life ahead of you, now you know the slowdown is coming. That's a rough slowdown.
That is a rough one. But JJK also had a rough one, so technically I think HINTZ can still pull it out. But
he really has the boss up for the rest of the song. I mean, he does really well in these, streaming sections. Anything's still possible.
Yep.
He's struggling on the second slowdown a little.
Yep. These slowdowns just really, they really get you.
Coming into the last quarter, though, that's a strong showing again. I'm thinking he may be just a little less familiar with his chart because he's going earlier. I feel like it's almost like he's rushing to compensate for the perceived higher BPM, whereas JJK's errors are more on the late side, from what I saw.
Right.
94 is respectable.
94 is a good score,
It's
but
respectable.
JJK is going to take that one. Let's see. 69 perfects. Nice. All right, let's see. Supposedly, yes, we
We're
did
going.
get it. Wait,
Yeah.
that's incorrect. He put the wrong name.
I'm fixing it on my end.
Wait, hold on. Since we're synced, I don't know if we could do that. He just fat fingered it a little bit. All right, okay,
Alright.
so JJK got the first song. Therefore, HINTZ gets to pick the second song, and he has picked his counter pick, Stop and Go.
All right.
Tell us about Stop and Go,
I
Pilot,
think
please.
let's talk about it as we go. So I'll try and talk about JJK's play here, but I really think we should just take the whole song for a moment to break it down.
Right.
So for you, dear viewers at home, Stop and Go, and I counted 23 stops.
23 stops.
The most in the game by a significant margin. The only thing that comes close to my recollection is Galactical, and that's got 10. But Stop and Go has almost every single stop you have to think about. And they have you starting with one. As for this chart, it is extremely streamlined. It is almost about as dense as Dance Full, which has almost a similar note count. It's a little bit faster.
JJK picking up a couple mines.
So, at the beginning, you're just going to have these basic, 2 beat stops. Now, what makes the beginning hard is there's very few audio cues or consistent cues on when they resume. So you kind of just have to know it. And that's especially true of the stops coming into this section where the audio drops out completely. There's no cue, no tell there. You just have to know it.
Right, so it only comes from practice. You have to practice the song.
Gold combo up to the traffic jam, as I call it. About 13
How many
and a
beats?
half beats.
14 and a half? 13.
And then here, they're like, okay, it's corner notes. Just kidding.
Right.
So, the song is going to do things one way and then switch it up on you and change it up a bit. 6.5 beats immediately into that.
Still managed to get gold combo, but JJK did pick up a few more yellow
The
perfects.
final run, center panel twist. Add transition into all 4 directions of center panel twist.
And no more halts until the end, right? Oh, just that one. Ooh, that
Eats that last green.
the last note early. It was a yellow combo up until that point, but
Yeah.
still a great score. 98.
But honestly,
6.
my honest opinion, I think this chart is harder than some of the full 25s.
Really?
It's very stamina intense, and then on top of that, you have stops that are knowledge checks.
Right.
And it's not like a lower difficulty, or even the wild, where the stops are relatively intuitive, you have to know them.
Right. Even if you've heard the song, like you can play the song on repeat, but that's not going to help you with some of the halts because it doesn't necessarily go exactly with the music because some of them, you know, they halt for like half a beat or something, you know.
Yeah. But that being said, JJK had that run completely clean, which I think was really impressive.
Very
save
impressive.
for the 2 stops where you immediately launch out of the pattern into something else. And
Right.
the last stop where, you know, you're at the end, you're not really fully geared up for it. You think you're through it all. Oh, one more. I got one more trick up my sleeve.
Right. All right, this is HINTZ's Protect, so assumedly he knows the stops.
So far, so good. Now, these like first 5 or so stops, though, they're easy. This is the really hard ones to time. See if he knows. 2, 3, 4, 1.
He got it.
1, 2. He knows them.
Yep.
Now, let's talk about this one. You're not counting 13 and a half beats. But
No.
listen for it to resume. There's that metallic percussion sound. It's an 1/8 before the next note.
Ah. Like the, there's like the tape rewinding effect and then the little hit.
All right, he's definitely on pace. He has to hit this one, though. Wow. Very
Incredible.
impressive.
He had that jump perfectly timed. You can see why it's a Protect. And these center streams.
All right, he's doing the mechanically hard parts. He just has to nail the last note when he takes the scale. All right, a little early,
Nice.
but he did it better.
Incredible, incredible. One of the greatest achievements.
Seeing that chart executed well is a sight to behold.
It really is incredibly impressive.
Anyway, thank you all for attending the class on Stop and Go, all 24.
I mean, I learned a bunch.
I hope those of you who have a little more physical stamina than me can go back and beat my personal best on this, which I believe is sitting at a very cool 91.
All right, we're moving on to Sweet World, which we did see in the previous set. But we'll see if JJK or HINTZ have any differences in how they execute the flams. There it is. Sweet World.
Yep, so same deal as before when we saw this earlier in the event. It's going to incorporate the flams from seconds. That's going to write it as a roll, so you have some looser timing. I think most players typically opt to execute it as a jump. You'll see that now. Yeah, you don't have a lot of tail at the end of some of these rolls to really just kind of do dragging flam, so
Right.
truly best to jump and just make sure you get it in time.
Yeah. I think the devs have said that all rolls or runs, as they're technically known in this game, have an extra little bit of tail, just so that if you're a little bit late on the last note timing, that you don't miss your last button press.
Yeah, and you can even see it here with these high scroll speeds. You can see it goes past to about
Right.
a 16th or so beyond. But if you're really dragging your flams, it's still not a lot of room to work with.
Right. Yeah, there's no late window for rolls or runs. Ooh, picking up an early in this middle button section.
Kind of hits the rest of them pretty dead on. JJK did pick up a missed lift at the very beginning.
Yes,
So
that's
it's going
true.
to get a minuscule amount of point loss from that, but I think his overall execution on this is very good.
We do still need to do science to figure out exactly how much a lift is worth.
Hey, 99.3 is a good score to
99.3 is
set.
a fantastic score. That's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, a 9
think-
and a 1.
HINTZ, if he wants to take this, he's going to have to be clean.
Without having the missed lift in there,
Time's going.
it gives a little bit more room. I think HINTZ could get a similar performance, but as long as he doesn't pick up the missed lift, he's still going to come out on top.
Yep. I mean, there was a reason that JJK missed that lift, is that sometimes lifts are hard to hit.
There are, I think, many people here in chat, watching at home, you've all had a nice clean run ruined by one single exclamation point, boy.
Yeah.
Almost.
That form check. You just really got to nail down what technique you want to use. There are many different techniques to handle the different tech in this game. Not everybody plays it exactly the same way. As long as you have something that works, then that's all you need. Ooh. A bit of
I hate to see it.
but that's only worth 1/5 of a downbeat.
Yeah, it's a fractional error.
Right.
If HINTZ gets the rest of this clean, he can still have a very competitive score for sure.
I believe the way that
Not if you drift early like that, but his execution on these center streams is crispy.
he's getting those centers. I believe the way that runs are scored is that each button push counts for
1 over X.
Yeah,
where
1 over
is the
X.
number of hits.
right. So compared to like a absolute perfect. Right. So if there's 5 notes in the run, then missing 1 is only worth 20% of a white perfect, which is basically just a 1 yellow perfect. So really not worth that much, as a miss compared to like other misses. But it does change your combo. 99.3. Wait, what was?
I
Wait.
think HINTZ still pulled that one out.
371 to 388. Oh my God! It was 17
HINTZ
points.
wins by 17 points.
17 points. What the heck?
No, I guess it was late. I thought it was a late.
So, one thing of note is based on prior testing and approximations of point values for given judgments, the absolute worst early you can pick up, you might as well have missed the note. It's about 5% of an absolute perfect. So, if
The whitest one, right?
Yeah, like the widest
Yeah,
normally you
absolute
get.
widest, yeah.
It's like 5%. I may
But
be
the
spreading a
tightest
little
one is about
misinformation.
like 30. I think it's 35% of an absolute perfect. So that's like getting 7 yellow perfects at the tightest window.
Considering the mislift that JJK picked up, if you reframe him his score, he's got 9 perfects and a miss. He's
Right.
getting 12 perfect, and like some rolls get messed up a little, but he's otherwise clean combo.
Right.
And it makes sense that that score would be competitive.
Right. It's like what 20, almost 20 yellow perfects or something. Whereas
It just goes to show you how competitive these margins get.
yes, we are super tight. All right, JJK gets the pick for the 4th song. We're going into
Yevon Polka.
Yevon Polka. Who knows how to pronounce this? Somebody thought it was an L, like a lowercase L. They're like,
I
oh,
thought
it's
that for the
Levin
longest
Polka.
time myself.
I mean, it depends on the font, right? A lot of times lowercase L looks exactly the same as uppercase I. That's why you got Siva Gunner, you know, instead of Silver Gunner.
I appreciate Quickman's Night Court esque remix of this for the game. Very fitting, especially with a little hard to see with dense full charts and dim background, the standard for competitive play. But the background has a couple of very cheeky meme and anime references thrown in for good measure. So
Right.
I recommend turning up your background brightness and looking at this animation when you
You
get
can
a
kind of
chance.
see it, even though the background is down to 25%. Look at him go, man. Take one. It's free. Wait, does that always say that?
I think so, yes.
Okay. I'm always looking out for the Easter eggs, man.
There's some good ones coming up.
JJK is ripping this song. He's doing it. Oh my God!
A little
Why did I
late,
talk?
a little late
Why
on the
did I
side
need
to
to-
side.
I just need to stop talking.
The video player crashed.
Yeah. Let's back into it.
I love pointing this out, the Neon Genesis Evangelion reference in the background. 99 full combo, very nice run.
Fantastic score. That's an incredible score right there.
I mean, we talked a bit about charts like Night Moods and Stop and Go being stamina checks with 16 patterns. You know, Stop and Go is 137. I think Night Moves is a little faster than that. This
Yeah.
is about 170-ish.
Yeah.
So
This song goes
175.
fast.
It's a speed.
All right. Select.
All right. HINTZ is looking a little sweaty, but that's how we like things here.
Well, he's not done yet. He's got to push through. If he can get this one down, if he gets a clean run, he beats that low 99 that JJK put out, he takes the set 3-1.
Yep, I think it was really the early that JJK had gotten one of those runs that really cost him, because otherwise, he got mostly just white perfects, yellow perfects. It started to drift a little bit wider towards the end, but he had an APC up to like 140 or something.
Very clean run.
Incredibly clean run.
As HINTZ gets started, looking at the set overall, he got most of the hard things out of the way already.
Right.
I would say critical hit is the hardest thing left in this draw by a sizable margin.
Yep, we just got 22s and critical hit left.
Curious to see where we go in a game 5 situation.
Yeah. So then we move on to game 5 if JJK wins this song. So if HINTZ gets less than a 99K, then we'll move on to song 5 and we'll pick something. Have you tried the 27 edit for this? That's just 16 streams on left and right the entire time.
No, and I don't think I will.
I'm curious how far I could get in it.
Respectfully to the creator.
Yeah.
But no thanks.
Ooh, we got a few yellow perfects on that run there, on the
Alright.
tower run.
He gets that side-to-side sweep that gave JJK a little bit of trouble. Gold combo, can he close it out? And is it tight enough to be better than JJK's performance? not just the end of Evangelion, it's the end of this chart, and he picks up the miss, and that does it in.
Oh, that was it.
Oh,
That
no.
was it. The miss. The miss.
Take one miss, it's free.
Oh my God.
Take one, it's free.
Oh my God.
Game 5.
Bring me back to life. 7th trip, the critical hit. Bring me back to life.
All right, we're going to breathe me back to
No,
life.
wait. That's a veto.
Oh, he's veto. Oh.
So they're doing vetoes to determine the last song.
Ooh, that's spicy.
All right, and 7th strip is off.
That means we're going to critical hit. What a set.
Wow.
What a set. I mean, look at what we've already played. Played EMEA, Stop and Go, Sweet World, Yevon Polka. Oh, no, wait. Oh, he did veto the critical
Okay.
hit. So we're doing 7th trip. JJK's going first.
Select options.
Oh my God, what a set. What an absolute nail biter of a set. That's going in the highlights.
Zom's top 10 moments from Jelly's Fiesta Frenzy.
You know, we were expecting this to be just a local, you know, just like a little local, maybe a couple people showing up here and there.
You think you got a local. Next thing you know, you've got StepManiaX Summit.
Yeah. So this one's got some interesting rhythms. At least in the wild, it has what I would call misquantized 24th bursts.
I don't know if I totally agree with that assessment, but what I'm seeing is it's fairly jumpy.
Oh boy. So, do you know if it has the bursts?
We're going to find out because one of them is coming up shortly.
Right. Okay, it doesn't have the 24th burst.
Makes up for, though, some interesting turns from side to side, and I think that actually should resolve, I think, as a foot switch on a 16 gallon.
Alright, this is mostly a straightforward chart as far as I remember. It has a few like upbeat 16th rhythms and these jump parts where it's just a bunch of jumps. At least compared to what we've seen earlier in the set,
Nails
it's
that
mostly down to
side-to-side
timing.
transition.
That was like a crazy. You could tell that it wasn't like perfect form. JJK had to like kind of jump over to get the notes he wasn't prepared for, but he didn't pick up any yellow perfect.
Now, JJK has been opting to double step a decent bit of these patterns, just following it mentally.
Ooh,
Very twisty.
a 99.8.
That's going to put a lot of pressure on HINTZ to basically execute this perfectly. You know, and this is
4 perfects. Though one of them was a little bit wide, you know. We'll see. We'll see how HINTZ can do.
I mean, you're one awkward transition or execution error away from completely losing it.
So interesting thing about HINTZ is that for quite a while, I don't know if it's still the case, but he was relatively low on the leaderboard, not because he couldn't get the scores, but because he just didn't bother playing all the charts. He was just like, the easy stuff, I don't need to play that.
I don't need to play that.
So I don't know how familiar he is with this chart, but I guess we're about to find out. But it is going to be tight. It's down to game 5. Ooh, we got word in the chat. 7th, aka 777 jump.
The 7 jump.
We got 2 songs with 7, but the one with more jumps is not the one with jump in the name. has already picked up a few perfects, yellow perfects, but you know, it could be just getting used to the speed of the song, you know, adjusting to the timing.
All right, making those side-to-side sweeps working pretty well. I think there's a very challenging right to left sweep right there, and that's it. Yeah, it's a little deterministic. You're not getting the hex star after that.
So
he chooses to
JJK,
forfeit.
yep,
Gives a set to
is
JJK.
That was a real good match, man.
Hell yeah.
Good shit.
fantastic, fantastic match between JJK and HINTZ, down to the absolute wire.
HINTZ put up quite the fight.
Quite the fight, incredible.